baby.
You're kind of blurry and dark, but
We are live. Hey, I'm dark. Do I look dark? Hi, everybody. We are live. We are live. And I just got back from voting. Did you vote today? You should. It's a privilege. Not all countries allow people to vote, so take advantage of it. But hello. Kathy and I are really glad to see you here today, and we are excited about the topic that we're going to cover today, using the power of your intention. And kind of a buzzword these days, so we want to kind of clear up some myths, misunderstandings, and give you the key to really using the power of intention in your life. But first of all, we want to introduce ourselves, and I'm going to let Kathy, my big sister, introduce herself first, and then I'll be back.
thanks, Anita. Welcome, everybody. Looks like, I might be really slow here. My words. I'm so sorry.
Try that band up above and see if you can.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. Because I can do this, but it'll be a lot more blurry. But maybe I can fix that in a second.
Okay.
Anyway, hi, welcome. I'm Kathy Kenny. I'm talking to you from beautiful Fort Collins, Colorado. We had just this amazing fall and started to get into some real cold weather in November, and we thought that nice weather was over, but we're back at it again today. So I am Anita's older sister. I'm the second oldest of 10 children, and Anita and I have been working together for the last about 8 or 9 years in a company that you can hear more about later. But we're just happy to be here to talk about this power of your intention. And I do want to tell you that I have 3 grown children. They're all out of the house now. 2 married sons. In their one's 33, 129, and my daughter's 24. And have lived here in Fort Collins since I was 18. Came here for college and have been here ever since. I got a degree in education, family studies, and was a preschool teacher director for over 25 years here in Fort Collins, and then became a yoga instructor as well as a Reiki master. And I continue to still teach yoga to this day, and also work with Anita in the company called Univera that you'll hear about later. So I'm going to give it back to you, Anita.
Okay, all right. So I'm Anita Yacht and Kathy's younger sister. We came from a family of 10, and I'm number 6 in line. And I've been married for 23 years and have 3 beautifully spirited young men. One is 20, and one is a senior in high school, 17, and one is a freshman. And they keep me busy. So it's been a blessing to be able to work from home and create this business with Kathy, and to be able to be involved in their everyday activities. So I also, my background is in education. I taught for over 15 years and then actually I've been still teaching in different forms. I was in the classroom for that long and doing different things, and I got my master's in counseling, so I've kind of just combined my education and counseling background to do a variety of things, from starting a children's program to conducting a yoga teacher training program. And Kathy and I have that in connection, and we have that connection as well as being yoga instructors and lifelong students of yoga, and being able to implement that and bringing it to other people's lives. So I've done a lot of women's retreats, and just have been really happy about now being able to move forward and bring this out onto this platform. Webinars are great because we can hit people all across the globe, and it's really exciting. And so Kathy and I think this is about our 3rd webinar, and we're going to continue to do this on a regular basis and continue to grow. And to just, we're excited about that. And what we'd like to do is cover topics that we feel are important, and Kathy and I have experienced over the years that have been empowering to us and helped us on our path to grow, and just life-transforming things that we want to share with you. So we're really excited about this journey. And so I want to jump right into our topic now. And that is using the power of your intention. This is kind of a buzzword lately. You know, the last several years we've had a lot of books pop up, we've had a lot of movies pop up and talking about the power of intention. And when something becomes kind of a buzzword, what happens is that it often gets overused, it gets misinterpreted, and sometimes it even gets abused, and it gets used in ways that aren't really appropriate. And so then people it gets convoluted, and people don't really understand how to use it in their lives. And that's a tragedy when it comes to the power of intention, because intention is really, really, really vital for transformation. And Kathy and I have been introduced to intention long before it became that buzzword, and that was in our introduction into yoga, because that is really what yoga is all about. It's really moving through your life and learning how to live each and every moment with intention. So what I want to do before we get started and jump in is to just ask you to be open, and to be open to what we're going to talk about today, and maybe something that you might not have ever heard of. And so one of my teachers, my greatest teacher, Swami Satchidananda, said, take what speaks to you and leave the rest. Because if it speaks to you, then it was meant for you and you need to go out and use it. If it doesn't, then maybe you're not ready for it, or maybe it just was never meant for you. So just being open as we move through this process today. I'm going to use my notes, and I encourage you, whenever you're on a workshop or any kind of platform where you're learning something, take notes. I have tons and tons of notebooks, but use those to take notes and then go back and refer to them, because that's how we learn. You write it, you see it, you validate it. So I have notes that I have here today because I don't want to miss anything, the importance of this topic. So I might be referring to them every once in a while. But yoga, really, intention is much, much more powerful than goals, setting goals, and thinking about what we want in our lives. Those are important, but it's much deeper than that. And it takes a deep practice, and it takes deliberate focus, and it takes dedicated habits to really cultivate the power of intention into your life. There's many, many masters out there lately that have really focused in on this, and it's because they know how valuable it is. A couple of those that I have really kind of followed and know that the majority of the work is based on the power of intention is Eckhart Tolle and Wayne Dyer. Actually, Wayne Dyer's last book was about the power of intention. And one of the things that they have helped to cultivate and for people to understand is that it's not only just about visioning your goals. It's not only just living in the moment and saying, well, what is my intention for the day, and kind of thinking about how the day is going to play out. But it's far deeper than that. It's really about connecting with this power, this source. And that power and that source, where we can connect with that is within. Now that may sound, woo, kind of wild out there, but when you start to cultivate this practice of moving within instead of reacting to everything that's happening without, which piggybacks on what Kathy and I talked about a couple weeks ago, and that is that, cultivating that power from within and moving from that space in the world instead of reacting to everything on the outside. Are you designing your life, or are you allowing your life to be designed by just reacting to the outer world? So basically, the power of intention moves from that space from within. And that space from within is connected to the source of all that is. And so think about how powerful that is. And when we cultivate that understanding and we sit with that space within, which it takes practice, it takes time to do that, then we start to see things that we might not have seen before. And that inner space will become a place where we find validation for how we move through the world. Wayne Dyer actually talked about the 4 steps of a process that kind of leads us to being able to live our lives with intention. And Kathy's going to talk about some of those steps that actually relate to intention. So I'm going to give you the 4 steps, and then I'm going to turn it over to Kathy. The 4 steps that Wayne Dyer talked about is discipline, building strong daily habits. And I can tell you, this is my area of concern. This is where I have to really get focused. I can get off on tangents, and I can get, doing things that aren't really part of my daily habits that are necessary to keep me on track. doing things that you know that you need to do to stay in a place that keeps you, grounded and focused, and living with integrity. It's huge. So that's the first one, building that discipline. The second one is wisdom, and wisdom isn't something that we reach for. It isn't saying we're reaching to be full of wisdom. Wisdom is something that happens by cultivating that space within. It's that something that happens when we build those strong habits and we live from a place of integrity. So wisdom is really, really powerful. Then love, being open to love. And Kathy and I have talked about this a lot, and that is that learning to love yourself is probably the most important job that you have on the planet right now, because until you do that, and yes, it's the old saying of you need to love yourself before others love you. Well, it's true. And being able to find that worthiness from within and cultivating love for yourself is how you end up being able to really love others unconditionally. And sometimes that takes having to find somebody, even going to a therapist or finding a spiritual mentor or finding a friend that you can be your confidant and you can really, really work through some of those things that have the issues that have made you feel unworthy or not in a place where you can be successful. And then the fourth one, which really, really is the root of intention, and that is surrendering to the force that's bigger than you, whatever you call that. I call it God, and some people call it something else. So that force is where the power of intention lies, and you can become aware of that force of intention, by going within, because it's a part of you. You're a part of it. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Kathy, and she's going to give you a little bit deeper information about the power of intention.
Thanks, Anita. That was a lot of really good information. And I think when we were talking about that we were going to do the power of intention, what came up for me was how, and by the way, I'm gonna refer to my notes too. Hope you don't mind. Sometimes you need your notes. Is how do we create a feeling we want to have on a daily basis? How do we create that feeling that we want to have on a daily basis? And what Anita was talking about, how going inward with all of those different discipline, wisdom, love, going inward. A favorite quote of mine is, be 100% responsible for your own experience. And that's from a really good friend of mine, Earl Purdy, who's a spiritual leader. And that's stuck with me for the last couple of years. Be 100% responsible for your own experience, so that I have the power to go inward and to change, and I don't have to put it out on anyone else. It's not up to anyone else but me. And that to me is more of a freedom. I don't feel like, it helps me to feel like I'm not stuck in situations and stuck in, because of what other people are doing.
Okay, so, Kathy, before you go on, can you go up to the top and kind of do that too, because you're out of sync with your speech again. Pretty much, if you could just, sorry about that, but I want to make sure that when we share
which way to go. I tried to go the other way and it was slower. It's funny because it's good where I am. I'm seeing it perfect, but
yeah.
Okay, what about now?
That's even slower.
This is slower? Yeah, that's way slow. Okay, hold on. I did it before, it sounded good, but then I got real blurry, but we'll just go from there.
Okay. Let me see.
How's that?
Yeah, that's better.
But I'm real blurry, aren't I?
Not too bad. A little bit. Okay.
Okay. So one of our workshops that we talked about a couple weeks ago was lining up your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And I think that really comes into play with the power of intention, because if those are out of sync, if you're thinking one thing, saying another, and doing something else, which we often do, we're trying to please people, we're saying one thing and walking away going, why did I say that? I don't really want to do that, or whatever. There's lots of examples of that. And I think that when we're not lined up with our thoughts, our words, and our actions, that it can cause us to be really out of sync with our intentions. So I was thinking to myself, what would be the most important things for me for intention setting? And the one thing that came to is I have to be intentional about my intentions. So I have to really place some focus there. And the first thing is, how do I want my day to look? How do I want my day to look? So every morning I try to have a quiet time, and that includes meditation, visualization, a little bit of reading, some journaling, and things like that. And I try to have that every single morning. Now, granted, I can tell you that I don't do it every single morning, but the mornings that I do it, my day is really set, and it seems to flow a lot better. Sometimes I do it before I go to bed. I mean, that's a great time, too, to take, you might want to think about how your day is going to look the night before if you don't have that time in the morning to get it straight and get it set in your mind and to have that quiet time. So how do you want your day to look? Maybe do it the night before. The next one is to visualize. I like to visualize what's gonna be happening in my day. I like to visualize my dreams and my goals and to actually see myself there. And I think that's a really big one for people to see. Just see yourself in this space, in this new job, or see yourself on this vacation, or in this new relationship, or whatever it is for you. Just keep visualizing yourself there. And I just think that's a great tool that we have with us that we can do anytime. The next one was to create a list, and I have to tell you that I learned this from my mom. She used to always make lists, and she'd always say, don't you just feel great when you can check off your list? And I do. I feel great when I check off my list, but I don't know why I resist it so much. There's certain things that we resist, and list making is one of them for me, but I know that when I do have a list, it definitely helps my day go better, and I can prioritize. I can put down what's most important and follow through with the other steps. So making a list. So those were my three, my personal intention setting ideas. And so then I was actually reading an article on intention, and there was a girl, Marsha Weeder. She's a dream coach, actually, Weeder. And she had 4 different intention setting ideas, intention steps. And her first one was get clear about what it is that you truly, truly want. What is it that you're looking for? What kind of, what are your dreams? And to actually write them down. And then her other one, which I thought was awesome, was to share your intention with someone who's going to support you. Not someone who's going to tell you that your dreams and goals and things are unrealistic or crazy. You want to be with someone who will support you and hold you accountable to them. So accountable to take action with them and really just be your support person. The third one is do something today to demonstrate your commitment. So you've made your commitment, you've written it down, your goal or your intention, whatever it is, and you found a support person who's going to help you through it and hold you accountable, and then take your step. Take what is it that you're going to do to commit to that. And then the fourth one is acknowledge that you did what you said you would do, and then go to the next step. So I like the idea that you don't have to do your whole entire big thing to get somewhere. You take it in steps, and take one step and then another step and another step. So I like that. I was also thinking about intention, and what it came to me was, like Anita said, it's not this, yes, of course we have to write down, we have to focus, we have to do all these things, but it's bigger than that. And I think that it's more of a being. I think intention is more of a being than a doing. I really do. I think that intention is being yourself. I think it's being focused. I think it's being determined, being willing to learn, and being willing to ask for help. Those are some things that really stand out for me. I think it's just way bigger than a bunch of skills and lists. We have to have those to carry it out, but going inward and being ourselves and really being guided, really connecting to our guides, and to, like Anita said, the source, the bigger part of the picture. It's not just our own little selves walking around here. So I'm going to give it back to Anita and let her talk for a minute.
Okay. That was great, Kathy. And so how do we begin? Kathy gave you some ideas of how to start, but really one of the biggest ways to really get a hold of this and start the process is becoming quiet, becoming still, and know that I am the I am. Meditation is really powerful in this, and if meditation seems a little bit scary to you, or it doesn't go along with your belief system, then basically just sitting for 5 minutes, or being in nature, going someplace where you can be still and be quiet. Be still and be quiet and know that I am. Those gut feelings that we get. Well, oftentimes we overrule those gut feelings and do things that, our gut's telling us don't do that, but really we have that sense inside that we shouldn't be doing it. And that's our intuition. That's a part of that space that we're talking about. That's that place inside that deep within is really your true nature. And the big booming voice that's talking to you almost all the time during the day, saying things, a lot of times it's filled with negativity, like you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you're not doing it right, that was really dumb, they're never going to forgive you, you've made mistakes in the past, and are you going to be able to get over it? This voice that's constantly talking is really loud, and that's really the ego. And the ego isn't always bad, but for the most part, the ego is the part of us that really, really focuses and questions ourselves as to the value of who we are, the worthiness that we have within. That small, still little voice that we often overlook is really the truth of who we are, and that's where intention comes from, that's where our intuition comes from, that's where that gut feeling comes from, and we can only really, truly reach it when we become quiet and still. Why? Because look at our society. It's so crazy and filled with so much busyness that we get caught in that. And when we do that, we get lost and we can't hear that small, still voice. So it's really, really important to take that time to cultivate that. And like Kathy said, to really reinforce the fact that what are we, does what we are seeking and who we are being match up? What our thoughts, what we're doing, what we're saying, and how we're acting, do they all line up? It's so important. And when we cultivate intention, it becomes a part of everything that we do. You'll notice that when you start making this a part of your daily practice. You'll live more mindfully. You'll become more conscious of how you move through the world and how what you do plays a role in how you impact the world. And also, you are able to live in the present moment. Really, if you're living in the past or you're living in the future, you really cannot live from a place of intention. Why? And I'm not saying that it's not good to visualize. We still want to visualize. We still want to feel ourselves where we want to be. We still want to do those goals and activities that Kathy talked about. But when we are living in the past, where our hurts are, and where our wounds are, or in the future with fear, worrying about what it's going to be like, we totally miss the present moment, and that in the present moment is where our intention is. So it's really, really important to make sure that we focus on the present moment and being still and quiet and cultivating that power of intention. It can transform your life. It's really played a huge role in Kathy and my life, and so we're really glad that we were able to just bring these tips to you today. And Kathy, what do you, any last words that you have for everybody before we sign off?
I think one of them is that, a lot of it comes out of moving out of your head and moving into your heart and living from that space. I think we have to keep all of our knowledge and all of our things up in our head too, but we also need to not live there and just go through the motions. And I think what Anita's talking about is that going inward is really bringing it down to a level of your heart and becoming more aware there. Relaxing. I talk to my yoga students about relaxing your mind first, and then it moves into the body. So, I think just being relaxed, getting relaxed in your mind, and moving from your heart and living from your heart is just a great place to be. But we talked a little bit about, a little bit about meditation, not a lot. And I think that you can call it quiet time. People sometimes run away from that word meditation because they think, oh my God, I can't do it. I tried it. I can't be that quiet. In my quiet time, I do a little meditation. Some days it's longer than others. Maybe it's 2 minutes on some days. Maybe it's 10 on another. And then I also do a little bit of reading and journaling, and as well as affirmations and visualizations. And then you have to add exercise in with that too. I think exercise is a really important piece of staying aware, staying together, keeping it all together, and keeping, and put that on the top of your list. Take a walk. It really helps clear the air and clear your mind and all that's happening. So those are just some last-minute thoughts.
Okay, great. Well, I want to share with you some information about how you can get in touch with us. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And so you can connect with us on, let me see here. Okay, can you see that, Kathy?
Hold up. Yep.
Okay, good. So we have, here's our information. We have our phone numbers, we have our emails, we have our Facebook connection links. So we would love to hear from you. We would love for you to keep jumping on our webinars and to take this opportunity to get to know Kathy and I and to really dive deep into some really exciting topics. And next week, our topic will be Simplify Your Life, right?
Right.
Simplify. So next Tuesday, 11:30 Eastern Time, 9:30, is it Central Time, Kathy? Is that what you're on?
Mountain Time.
That's right. Mountain Time. So we will look forward to seeing you there, and we hope you have a great week, and go vote. Take care.